Before we get into final topic here of conversation, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That is TDAwear.com. Make us your plug for your Alabama football apparel. We got your shirts right here, your hoodies right here. If you're feeling the I love hearing touchdown Alabama shirts, the let them play shirts, we want football shirts, hoodies galore, come do your shopping right here. TDAwear.com. That is TDAwear.com. Supporting the team, the players, Coach Saban, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But we jump into now. Final topic of conversation, Mac Jones. Mac Jones facing this Georgia defense this weekend. And I said this 3 years ago, and people thought I was crazy. And people thought I was psychotic. And people thought I was sniffing cocaine or snorting cocaine. People thought I was out of my mind. People thought I was out of my mind. I was saying this 2 to 3 years ago. Mac Jones is cooking something up. Mac Jones got something for you. Mac Jones is something serious. Mac Jones is the real. I was saying this 2 to 3 years ago, and everybody was beating me like a Mexican piñata with no candy and set piñata that I was getting hit with. But looking at this right now, Mac Jones is the real deal. And 2 days before the start of the season against Missouri, I had conversations with all 3 of Jones's quarterback coaches or private coaches in Florida. They all talked about, we don't understand where the haters are coming from, the naysayers are coming from. This guy has all the potential to put together a Joe Burrow type of season. And so far, Mac Jones has exceeded every expectation that people had placed in front of him. I mean, he's doing some things that Tua did not even do. I mentioned it. Mac Jones, back-to-back 400-yard passing games. Tua never had back-to-back 400-yard passing games. Mac went 435 against Texas A&M, and then he reloaded the clip and fired again 417 against Ole Miss. Mac Jones, the only quarterback in Alabama football history, 3 career touchdown passes of 80 yards or more. Tua didn't do that. And Mac Jones against Ole Miss, 85.7% completion percentage. Tua never had a game where he completed 80+% of those passes. So there are some things that Jones is providing to you. But so far this season, Mac Jones, 66 for 83 passing, 79.5%. The man is darn near completing 80%, and this was against a Missouri team that finished top 15 for total defense last year, had 8 starters returning. This is against a Texas A&M team that had a veteran defensive front. And this is even against an Ole Miss team, despite giving up 63 points to Alabama. The Ole Miss team still had some dudes on it. So Mac Jones, 66 of 83, 79.5% completion clip, 1,101 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick. But here's the big thing. In terms of where he stands nationally, Jones, number 1 nationally for pass efficiency rating, 220.3. Mac Jones, number 2 nationally, completion percentage, 79.5. Mac Jones, number 2 nationally in yards per completion, 16.7. Mac Jones, number 4 nationally, passing yards per game with 367. The man is doing his thug fizzle out there on the football field. But I mentioned in the offseason that 3 games will ultimately determine Jones's legacy. 3 games. Those 3 games, I had Georgia, LSU, and Auburn. The first test comes this week, Georgia. I mentioned after the A&M game that, hey, put Mac Jones in the Heisman, and a few of U.S. callers said, hold on, not yet, Stephen, not yet. Let's wait to see what he does against Georgia. Let's wait to see what he does against Georgia, because Georgia got something for him. Georgia got that heat for him. Georgia got them banana clips for him. Georgia got that pressure. They got that pressure for him. So here we go. This is the week for Georgia, and Kirby Smart has a lot of pressure on him this week because Kirby Smart, after spending 9 years under Coach Saban, 2007 to 2015. He's been the head coach at Georgia since 2016, and the fan base in Georgia is like, all right, Kirby, you came close at him one time in the 2018 title game off the 17 season, and then you came close at him again for 2018 SEC title game. But Kirby, when you gonna pull that trigger, bruh? When you gonna pull that thing, man? When are you gonna finally get in? When are you going to finally end Nick Saban, Kirby? You've been close, but close only comes so far, Kirby. We're getting kind of impatient. When are you going to end this thing, man? When are you going to get over this obstacle right here? So that's been kind of the news story going on where the Georgia faithful is concerned. When is Kirby going to be able to do this in terms of beating, Coach Saban? So Kirby brings in the best defense he has had in his tenure, with the Bulldogs. As we look at these stats here from Georgia's defense, what the Dogs are bringing in, it's a serious group. They're top 10, mostly across the board in every defensive category, just about, but they're first in the SEC as well. So in points per game, Georgia giving up 12.3, fifth in the nation, first in the SEC. They're giving up 236.7 yards per game of total offense, second in the nation, first in the SEC. They're giving up 38.3 yards rushing per game, first in the nation, first in the SEC. They're giving up a 99.03 defensive pass efficiency rating, which is third in the nation, first in the SEC. They're giving up only 28.3%. They allow opponents to convert just 28.3% on third down. That's 10th in the nation, first in the SEC. They have 10 sacks. This is 14th in the nation, but still first in the SEC. They give up just 43 first downs, 9th in the nation, first in the SEC. And they have a +3 turnover margin, which is tied for 10th in the nation, first in the SEC. So this is a real deal defense that Kirby's bringing in here. And Coach Saban mentioned after the Ole Miss game, we got to be a whole lot better because Georgia, that's a real deal defense. So Mac Jones, this is his moment to really, once and for all, solidify himself as he's in this Heisman conversation. He is getting that ticket to New York City for the Heisman Trophy presentation. This is the game right here. People say Georgia's got the heat for him. Georgia's got the pressure for him. Here's the game right here for Mac Jones to show that nobody got the heat for me. Nobody got the pressure for me. I got the heat for everybody else. I got the pressure going for everybody else. They got to watch out for me. So here's this game here for Jones against the Georgia Bulldogs. It's going to be a huge matchup for the offensive line to keep him protected because Georgia's got some pass rushers. Nolan Smith over there, Nakobe Dean over there, among other guys. They've got some edge rushers on that side of the football. So this is a game for Alex Leatherwood. If he wants to be a top 5 draft pick, this is a game for Leatherwood. Protect Mac Jones at left tackle. This is a game for Evan Neal, protect Mac Jones at right tackle. This is a game for your interior guys of Dickerson, Ekiyor, and Deontay Cornbread Brown. Protect your quarterback. So while those guys have got to keep Mac Jones upright, this young man has to slice and dice Georgia's defense. I think he can do it because, this is not the first time Jones has went up against a nasty defensive front. Remember, he faced an elite defensive front last season against Auburn that had guys get drafted, including Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson. And all Mac Jones did in that game was go for 335 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Yes, he had the 2 interceptions, but he bounced back and made big plays. And then against Michigan, if you remember in the Citrus Bowl, he played against a defensive front that had some guys drafted off that group as well. And all Mac Jones did there was go 16 for 25 passing, 327 yards, and 3 scores. So let's not make it seem like he has been up against an elite defensive front before. But this is a big game against Georgia. Mac's got to slice and dice these guys to really show folks, hey, stop sleeping on me. Put me in this Heisman. But as always, people, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage here on your Crimson Tide. It's very simple and easy to do. You access it by getting the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. Download it for your iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple. Google Play Store if you've got the Android phone. For all your audio listening needs, we got you right here. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We got you covered. The good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Wednesday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. As always, Tide Nation, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. Link will be found in the description. But till next time, people, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, school is in. Continue doing those things legitimately now. Don't be bored. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself. Protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, spend in my own words. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.